red dress, but she was so nervous tonight that the last thing she wanted was to stand out in the crowd. Besides, the black velvet showcased the delicate blue diamond necklace and earrings she'd just designed to match her deep blue eyes. And it was slimming, of course. Although she was comfortable in her skin, next to uber-fit celebrities, she needed any help she could get. She touched the stone in her necklace for luck. Most everyone in the industry tonight had turned out to laud their fellow casts and crews, and the night was just beginning. Most people would glide from one party to another, to the Vanity Fair party, the Governor's Ball, and parties hosted by Lionsgate, Women in Film, and other producers and organizations. Every event was over-the-top designed. She'd never been to parties like these. Her social life usually involved campfires on the beach, or binge-watching a new TV series with friends. Elena was so excited to be trailing her friend Penelope, a top fashion model, wherever she went. Equally impressive were the jewels that sparkled on svelte throats, dainty earlobes, and slender wrists and fingers of well-known actresses. Some even wore hundreds of thousands of dollars of gemstones in their hair. Everywhere Elena looked were shimmering diamonds, emeralds, rubies, and sapphires. Even deep purplish-blue tourmalines. Estimating values, she figured many stars wore jewelry valued at millions of dollars. So did Penelope. Elena pressed her hand against her fluttering heart to calm her anxiety. She had pledged her entire business against the jewelry she'd designed for Penelope to wear tonight, which was why she'd hardly let her friend out of her sight all evening. She caught Penelope's glance and wiggled her fingers in a tiny wave. Penelope lit up and made her way across the room. Watching her, Elena admired how Penelope moved and showcased her jewelry and dress to perfection. She watched heads turn in Penelope's wake and heard murmurs of approval trailing her as she passed. Penelope looked like a glittery mermaid princess who'd just emerged from the sea. She'd even changed her hair color from purple to blonde with turquoise and azure highlights to go with the stunning aqua silk gown she wore, designed by another friend of theirs, Fiona Fitzgerald. The blazing marine blue and twinkling green diamonds at Penelope's throat were worth a fortune and had drained Elena of her personal gemstone coffers, not to mention additional stones and the cost of other materials and her labor. Inspired by opulent jewelry from India, she'd spent months designing the suite that included earrings, bracelets, and rings. But the piece she was most proud of was the lacy, cascading choker with diamonds arranged in a wave-like pattern from light to dark. Most important to her was the lineage of these fancy-colored diamonds and what they represented to her family. She'd never shared the true provenance of these stones with anyone outside her family, not even her closest friends. Nor could she. In her heart, they would always be Sabina's diamonds. And in her ancestors' honor, she had marked a large part of their profit on sale for a special cause. "Elena?" Penelope gripped Elena's hands and said hello to Amy. "Your jewelry and Fiona's dress outshine me tonight," she said, laughing. "They're the real stars." "You're not a top model for nothing," Amy said, reaching out to touch the lacy, bejeweled choker that Elena had designed. "Those are exquisite fancy-colored diamonds." "Thanks for wearing them, Penelope," Elena said, in awe of how beautiful Penelope looked tonight. She knew her as a friend, just a regular person she traveled with, most recently when Penelope had come under threat from a deranged psychotic fan by the name of Christo. "It's the least I can do," Penelope said, her tawny eyes brimming with elation. "You helped me get through a tough time." "It turned out well, though," Elena said. "How's the new show going?" Penelope's face shone with excitement. "We started filming, and I'm working on ideas for more episodes. The next one will be in Denmark. Isn't that exciting? I'll get to see my parents then." "Hey, hottie, how about more bubbly?" A familiar voice